Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, a digital media source for professional and entrepreneurial women. Did you know that we can be found on Google Play, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Sam's Broadcasting, AutoCast, and more? Women Who Rock with Success airs live each Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. We handpick professional women in many areas who can provide credible information in their field to build your business and lifestyle. To learn more about us, just visit our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com.
And good morning and welcome to Women Who Rock with Success. Thank you guys for tuning in to the broadcast on today as we continue our social media madness and giving you resources, tips, and information in regards to how to maximize your brand on social media. So today we have an interesting guest with us. She's just not only an expert in social media, but she's also in PR marketing. So you're getting double of your tools, resources, and tips on today. So welcome to the show this morning, Miss Julia Joy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Great. And we are excited to have you on the broadcast on today. And so we want to get started by you introducing yourself to the audience and letting them know a little bit about you.
Great. Thanks, Diane. Yes, as you mentioned, I work broadly in marketing communications, but my area of expertise is public relations. And that's really where I've found the work that I love, and it's been my longtime professional passion. And so as it happens, the more you do something, the more experience you get. And I hate to say it now, but I have almost 25 years of experience, and I can't believe that I've worked in the same area and focused and grown my career, and that I'm old enough to have 25 years of experience, but I do, and it's been very, very rewarding.
Great. That is awesome. 25 years, that is a long time. And that's
yes,
how individuals, you have built your platform. And then also it builds credibility for what it is that you do, so that will draw more people to your brand of what you have that expertise in. So, yeah, that's a big hand clap. So
yeah, thank you.
It is. So let us know about the Z Group. Tell us a little bit about that, and what are the actual components that you provide for your clients.
Sure, I would be happy to. Occasionally people compliment me on having my own business and being out on my own, and they say, oh, how long did it take you, and did you always dream of this? And I call myself the accidental entrepreneur, because I have almost always worked in an agency or corporate environment, and Z Group PR was my side gig. And so I had to give it a name because I was billing customers, and so for bookkeeping and tax reasons, I had to separate it from my regular work. But it's been an ongoing adventure that has really augmented my career. So while I've been consulting and helping clients on my own, I've also been working in my profession in corporations and in companies and for PR agencies. So I call it my three-leg stool. I have this really balanced approach to PR and the work that I do, because I've done it in all three varieties. So now, with the services that I can offer broader services for brands and companies and agencies, but I can also drill that down and provide agency-style services, but for individuals.
Absolutely, because it appears that you can be able to receive clients where it's basically catered to either the social media side, or you can be able to do PR marketing, or you can be able to do both, with your clients. And so, again, as I stated before, that 25-year experience that you have pays off in many dividends for your clients and for your market. So that is absolutely great. So what are the takeaways that you expect from a client when they come and retrieve your services? What is it that you really want them to have? Because a lot of times when it comes to marketing, or when it comes to businesses, or when we're, looking for clients, sometimes individuals are looking for, this is something that I'm going to get paid to do, or what have you. But some people are really in it for just trying to assist the corporate America woman to be able to flourish her brand, to make sure that she has the tools and resources that she needs, and also share with the audience, this will be good for the Z Group, share with the audience also as to, are there any tiers that they would have to, some individuals, when they have their own business marketing, they have it in certain tiers that you can be able to purchase certain prices, for the social media side, for the PR side, or for the both sides. So share with them a little bit about that.
Sure. Yes, I would say that the first question, I always think of my clients as my baby bird. And so I want to be their first experience with PR, and that includes social media. That wasn't always the case, but so I have an old school traditional approach to PR, but I also have embraced all of the tools. I mean, when I started, we were faxing people press releases, so it was a long time ago. And so I don't recommend a social media only approach. If you're just throwing stuff onto social media and you don't have a PR strategy, that's not going to go very far, and you're especially not going to go really far with the media. And that's where one area where public relations really needs to drive the planning activities around media relations. And so I think, like I said, I think of my clients as my baby birds. Even though they're smarter than me, most of my clients make way more money than I'll ever make. They are more talented in some way than I am. But in this particular way, I know the best approach. And so they're in the nest, and we're going to build their foundation. We're going to put all the pieces together. I call it pre-PR. We're going to get them media ready. So they are, it's Sunday night at dinner, it's wearing a tux, it's getting ready, being camera ready. And it actually takes a considerable more effort than what people think. They don't know what journalists and what the media are looking for in a brand. And so getting that all ready, teaching them how to do it themselves, working through it with them, answering all their questions, doing it for them until they're able to do it for themselves, really training them. And then one of two things is supposed to happen. Either they're supposed to grow and be so successful that they go on to hire a really big agency, and so now they've grown their company and their brand so they can spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month for a formal agency, or they've done such a good job and learned so much that they can start doing it themselves. It's on a smaller scale. They don't have to engage a large agency, but they've learned enough that now they can take this over and do it on their own. And so I really see my time with them as a transition. And I don't, I would love to have clients for life, but if I have a client for life, that means that they haven't grown and gone off out into the world. So I have to be kind of like a mama bird. I need to get them to the point where I can push them out of the nest. And so that's my goal for clients, is to get them to the next step. My goal is never to attach myself to them, sign a contract, and then spend the rest of our lives together. Now, I'm always available, but again, my goal is to get them to grow so they're ready for that next step.
I absolutely agree, because if they're with you for 7 years, for an example, that means either
Right.
they're not listening or they're not applying what it is that you are giving them, or either they're just fearful to be able to step out on their own, because sometimes individuals, when they come to marketing gurus such as yourself, they look for someone to hold their hand, and that's okay. That is great. But after a point in time, there should be a growth pattern that is seen between the marketing guru and the client. And so I think that was very well stated in how you brought that forth, because if, it seems like, well, he's not doing his job, we'll say he for an example, or she's not doing her job. If she's still there lingering with that person for 6 or 7 or 8 years, because that is actually, I guess, kudos, if I can be able to use that term, for the marketing agency, if they see their client out there, making different bullet points. They're out there excelling in what it is that they have been given. I would hate to pay someone for 7 or 8 years and I have not brought anything, to the table and grown in any type of way. So that was very well stated, Julia. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes, I think that was very well stated. It's my first time ever hearing it. Now, we've been doing the social media madness for the last couple of months, and that's the first time that I have actually heard a response like that. That is very, very well stated. So,
thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah, in regards to that, with the Z, go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to finish, go ahead.
Well, I want to say I think that's something for your listeners to be aware of. If you are going to hire someone and they're just going to do it for you, but they're not teaching you how to do it, and they're not preparing your brand or company or gig or you to grow, no 7 years. If you're doing this for a year and you're not seeing progress, it's time to regroup. And, something's not going well or something needs to be adjusted. If you're just doing the same thing over and over and you're not seeing growth. And I think it's really hard for people who run their own businesses and work as freelancers, because they need clients. They need to be paid. But they have to be prepared to let that client go. They have to be prepared to push them out of the nest. And so you want somebody who's bold enough and tactical enough and straightforward enough to say, no, this isn't working. We're not doing this anymore. And if you hire someone who's afraid to do that, then you might not get the best results over time.
Absolutely.
So that was it. That's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can jump in and interject anytime that you feel that you need to be able to provide something for the audience. That's fine. And so I do absolutely agree with you in regards to that. We have to be able to make a statement. We have to be real good key listeners, because as I stated, sometimes individuals, they be, I'm already all over the place. So, I need someone to be able to help me, which brings me to this next question in regards to that. What are the benefits of business professionals such as corporate American women? Because those are the most individuals that we have on the broadcast. Those and some celebrities will come to the podcast as well. So in that retrospective, what are some of the benefits that you can be able to give to them? Because sometimes we want to do it by ourselves. Sometimes we already think that we got it. Sometimes people use certain types of CRMs. Sometimes they use maybe Hootsuite. They use different other types of components of software. But however, at the end of the day, they are not talking back to the client. They're not talking back to the individual. A PR can be able to make a statement face-to-face, interpersonal communicational skills with the client. And so share with the audience what are some of the benefits of business professionals and clients having a paid PR specialist.
Well, thank you for asking. The first thing I want to say to somebody who's working in corporate America or already found some level of success is what I've come to find over years and years of working in PR is that it's still sometimes confusing to people, and it is still sometimes scary. And I learned this lesson over and over again. I work with executives who have gone in and pitched and gotten $50 million in funding, seed funding. They've secured big partners or big customers. So very successful people who obviously know what they're doing. They are very smart. They're very capable. But they still don't understand PR. They're still confused by it, or they're still a little bit afraid of it. And so if anybody's feeling that way, I just want them to know absolutely it is confusing. There is so much information out there. I do this all day, every day, and I'm still wondering sometimes what's going on. It is absolutely one of the most dynamic and misunderstood areas of business, and we don't teach it in business school, and so people don't have a lot of experience. I went and got an MBA so I could stand next to my business peers and professionals with the same credentials, and I didn't get a PR class. So it's very interesting to me. You can be very smart and successful and still not understand it. So my first thing that I would say is don't be afraid and always ask questions. And the reason you're going to benefit is because we live in such a noisy, confused marketplace right now. And when you layer on online and digital communications and marketing, social media communications and marketing, and then traditional media relations, there are a lot of nuances working at the same time. There's a lot of things that can fall through the cracks. And so having somebody experienced, don't hire your little brother's best friend because he's really good at video games and knows a lot about computers. That doesn't make a PR person. Just because they're technical, just because they're on TikTok 24/7, just because they got 1,000 likes of their dance. I know this is happening. That is not what works. So you need to find somebody who does have the corporate experience, who does have the long-term agency or media experience, and who has had results. Somebody who can say, well, I did this 20 times, so I could probably do it a 21st time for you. I did this 100 times, so I could do it at the 101st time for you. And what you're going to get when you bring this together under the umbrella or the oversight of a PR professional is you're going to get to your goal faster because you're going to avoid mistakes, avoid flare-ups or bad situations that take you on a detour or derail your goals. You're going to get there more efficient. So you might be spending money, but you're going to be able to jump over or go around the mistakes that you're inevitably going to make on your own or that you're going to make with somebody who's not experienced. You're going to be opened up to greater media and publicity opportunities because part of the reason I can get great coverage for my clients is because I've done this for a long time and other journalists know that I've done it for a long time. They trust me not to screw it up. And so it's like having a doctor. I mean, you want the doctor who graduated from medical school yesterday or who's been doing it for 50 years. They're both smart. Like, I couldn't go to medical school. They're both super smart. Cool. But somebody who's done it for years, has the connections, has seen all the weird things, knows what all the, different possibilities and outcomes could be and plans for those and doesn't really hit very many surprises. And media relations specifically, trying to get coverage from outside organizations, being on blogs, being on podcasts, being in newspapers and magazines and popular online destinations, being featured and shared on social media. It looks super easy, and everybody has a smile on their face, and they're wearing sunglasses, and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm an influencer. Like they just woke up that day and all this fabulous stuff is happening. It takes a tremendous amount of work. And so, yeah, and so it's some stories are starting to come out about influencers, and we've heard it from celebrities for a long time, how exhausted they are, how it's impacting their mental health, how it's a 24/7 job and they just can't keep up. I would say to them that they weren't prepared, and they started out on their own and started to flourish, and they probably needed to ask for help and hire someone along the way.
Absolutely. You know, I've stated to other individuals that, and of course, other social media gurus have shared in the month of January and February on the broadcast of different flavors of what they used for their clients. At the same time, it is best to have someone that is paid in regards of the individual trying to do it themselves, because the client may not even know some of the tools that they may be missing, and the PR marketing agent or the social media marketing staff may already have what it is that they're missing to be able to plug in to make sure that they're making a great fit on social media and as well in the PR industry. So with that being said, we use social media for a lot of things. You know, from when it first started out, I think Mark Zuckerberg did a very wonderful job in bringing a platform to billions of individuals where they can be able to share, they can be able to talk, they can find loved ones, they can be able to plan events, they can be able to share catered groups or targeted groups, for other individuals to be able to collaborate and communicate together. However, with that being said, it is important that when we are in business, this is my perspective on it, that, we kind of divide the difference between I want to be on the social side as well as I want to be able to be on the business side. So what are the benefits in your perspective of social media advertising? Because a lot of times individuals, they don't know how to advertise. I think social media, Facebook has a very lucrative tool in reaching individuals. It is catered as to how you can be able to dissect different components on the platform as to how you want your audience and what area, what location, blah, blah, blah. So with that being said, what are some of the benefits for corporate American women as well as entrepreneurs when it comes to social media campaigning?
Sure. That's a great question. Facebook is the third most visited website in the world, and that continues to be a prime driver. You know, we hear a lot about it, things that go wrong in the news. Don't think for a second that means people aren't using it. You know, you see hashtag quit Facebook. No, that's not happening. So YouTube and Google, of course, number one. But if you're looking for eyeballs, if you're looking for people to advertise to, I think they have something like 2.5 billion active users. So people are still going to Facebook. They're still using it. Now, that's worldwide. Maybe your product or service is local or regional. So maybe those numbers, you don't care about everybody in the whole wide world. But just in terms of measuring it against other social media, and it's actually not my favorite. So, but the fact is it is still the most widely used. Now, Facebook purchased Instagram. There's a lot of integration there. So we're going to see Instagram growing. Twitter's growing, and it's still very popular. And then, of course, there's new ones. Pinterest has always been in the background, still very popular. TikTok's coming up as kind of the new kid on the block, if you will. So lots of interesting stats there, depending on your demographic. You know, it's a big difference between marketing to a 13-year-old boy versus a 65-year-old woman. So it depends what your product and service is. But across the board, Facebook is still the strongest leader. Now, I like Facebook, not as a personal platform, because I don't need to hear everybody's business and the politics and all of that. But as a business person, because we all just use Facebook since day one. So you log in and you click over to the business side, it works almost the same as the consumer side. So if you've been on Facebook chatting with your friends, talking about your high school reunion, it's going to be very easy for you to flip over to a business account and run your business page from the same app. So out of the gate, it's significantly easier because there's not a learning curve. The other thing that I really like about Facebook is that you can do such a great job easily setting up targeted ads. It's just almost as easy as posting something to Facebook. You put in some text, you add a picture, they guide you the whole way, and you can choose audiences that make sense for you. So let's say you live in Montana and you have a business and it's regional. You have a ranch and people can travel there. And so you might want to advertise to the United States, but you've done some of your homework and you know most of your customers come from the western United States. Well, you could go in and pick geographically, you know, I want people who live in the U.S. I want people who are of this certain age. Maybe all your customers are, you know, of a certain age, et cetera. And you can just tick off those boxes, and it makes your media targeting very easy, because that's what we have to worry about in the future, is that there's going to be so much messaging out there. People are just going to start shutting down, and you're not going to get through to your customer. So Facebook still does the best job of making it efficient, easy to use, effective, and you can do it for as little as maybe $5 or $10 a day. So you could set aside $50 a week and get really good advertising targeting to grow your business.
All right. That is so well stated. So what would you like to leave at this time with the audience in regards to, we're going to, I think they have gotten a lot of information in regards to what you have shared on today, which is social media marketing, Facebook marketing, campaigns. What would you like to leave with the audience about Z Group?
Well, thank you. I would like to say, first of all, anyone who's listening, reach out to me. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can go to zgrouppr.com. There's a contact form. Ask the questions. That's the most important thing. Ask for help. Find out what's going on. Don't assume that just because you have an idea of how to do it, that's the best way to do it. Ask for help. But really the bottom line is that there's two ways to be successful with your marketing, and you're going to pay for it. You're either going to pay for it in blood, sweat, and tears, because you're going to have to learn how to do all of it. You can't just throw stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. You really have to learn these skills and apply it to your business, or you're going to pay for it by hiring someone. And you really need to make a decision as to what's better for your business. Should you be spending all of your time learning these skills and starting from scratch? Or should you find some money, hire someone so you can focus on the core areas of your business? And I am a PR professional, and I still spend a significant amount of time learning about marketing and how it's working and best practices. So somebody who's a dancer or artist or real estate agent or dentist or whatever, fill in the blank, I don't think that they have that amount of time. They should be growing their expertise and bringing somebody else in. And I think that what happens is people don't ask for help and they're not willing to pay for it, and their businesses suffer because of it.
Absolutely. So how can the listeners be able to connect with you, as well as if there are any upcoming master classes that you have to be able to, that you're offering in your area or online or anything like that? You can be able to share that with the audience at this time.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, my website is zgrouppr.com. It's the letter Z like zebra. You can Google my name, Julia Angelin Joy. It pops right up. Z Group PR has a blog. It has tons of resources. I want to make as much information available to the general public as possible. And you can just click on Work with Jules, and you'll get a contact form. You can ask me anything you want, and I will at least point you in the right direction and make sure you get the information. I'm Julia Angelin Joy on LinkedIn, and I'm Julia Angelin PR on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, and if you would spell Angelin for the audience, so they can be able to make sure that they don't get the incorrect individual.
Sure. Yes, I'll spell the whole thing. Julia, Julia, Angelin, Angelen. It looks like Angel, N. And then my last name is Joy, Joy. And I talk about PR and processes all the time. I have a long list of media interviews. I really do think there's a lot of good information if you're starting out or have questions right on the website. And you can click through and, do some of that blood, sweat, and tears. Learn about it. Figure out what you're supposed to do and ask questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being our guest on today. We have learned a lot from you in regards to the brand and your PR marketing strategy that you have provided for the audience on today. There is no way that a listener should be able to go away with not all of the tools to this kit that you have provided on the show today. So thank you so much for taking out your time and being with us for this opportunity.
Well, I appreciate it so much also. It is my favorite thing. I love to talk about public relations, and I'm very happy that you invited me on the podcast. Thank you.
You are so welcome, and it appears that you do have a abundance of joy for that. So, listeners, for all upcoming events, you can go to our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. Some of the pages are still under construction because we are now launching a new membership packet for members to be able to come in and engage and network with each other. So, until next week, you can tune in with us at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and get ready for Women Who Rock with Success Investigates at about 30 minutes. You all have a great day.